All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. My name is Mr. Pillow. With me is Pyro Cheese. Pyro Cheese, hanging in there, buddy?
Man, and they're just fine. We're about halfway through today's casting of the Skolldir Showdown. So, those matches that we've seen, there's still plenty more to come, so that should be exciting.
I saw you guys asking in the chat about how many matches we were casting today. We're about going to do our 8th set, eddster versus Paulo, and we're doing 15 total sets today. So, it's about halfway mark, so, sorry, I got tongue-tied. Yeah, it's eddster versus Paulo. So type who you think is going to win in the chat. They're going to play exactly 2 matches. If you don't know, if you didn't know that, so it doesn't matter what the results were. Eddster could win 2, Paulo could win 2. They could both win 1. They're only going to play 2. What do you think the results are going to be? If you guess correctly, all you gotta do is type in the chat. There is no like fancy schmancy command. Just tell us your thoughts. If you guess correctly, after the 2 matches, one person who guessed correctly will win a piece of Awesomenauts DLC. We will select the person who sent at random from the pool of people who guessed right. So, we've seen these players like all the others so far today. They played very well. I think Paulo, probably if I were to say my top, I don't know if I put him in the top 3 picks. I was trying to decide my top 3 picks for who wins this shindig. It's easy Nikki, and then it's like eddster, Paulo, or Starsan. So it's like it's easy for me to say my top 4. I don't know my top 3, but I feel like either way, like the guys that can potentially win this, it's like eddster versus Paulo. You know what I mean? Like this is where as the players accumulate points, because it is a round robin bracket. These are 2 of the big players that I think actually have a very decent chance of winning this.
Yeah, when it comes to like Clash of Titans, you could almost think like Paulo is definitely around in the community, as well as eddster. Eddster's been around for a long time, as far as I know. So to see these 2 kind of face off in this 1v1 style, where all variables are set to still, and it's just kind of seeing just raw how these players compete against each other to see who's going to come out on top.
Indeed. So, that said, let's go ahead and get into this match. I am at the 9-second mark. Would you like to give us a countdown, my friend?
Alright, the 9-second mark. I am there. So this is going to begin in 3, 2, 1, go.
And we're off. There's those taunts. Eddster taking the jump pad right away. Not going to find anything. That was a nice drop down quick. He's going to find the throw onto Paulo. He's going to be going in now. There's the energy of the match. Immediately picking up. It's a lot more fast paced than the last game. I like it already. Seeing some things I haven't seen so far. Paulo going to get a nice back throw and get the first blood on Eddster. It's actually really cleanly done. That was just kind of out of nowhere. But it's like, okay, I guess, Eddster was literally pixels away from Paulo. And Paulo had the throw already. But I just didn't even think about that coming.
Yeah, this is definitely a way more fast-paced match than we've seen most of today. Just both of them going just hyper-aggressive, almost to the point of a fault. But it's nice to see that both of them are on the same page, really. Usually when it comes to, like, hyper-aggression versus, someone that's passive, you see that a lot in the regular game. But to see it here, it's definitely much more exciting and a lot more high energy, to say the very least, Both of them confidence in their ability to land skills, as well as going with predictive strikes. Like right there, like that was a nice punch right off the jump pad, even after being thrown from eddster. Oh, and that's gonna be a nice throw off the edge right there by eddster as well, making it 3-2 in favor of eddster.
Indeed, and there's gonna be another throw off eddster there. That was nice. What the heck? He just like flew under the platform from the jump pad. I don't even know if Paulo knows what he just did. Yeah, he's trying to find that frag there, trying to bring it back up to a tie. Really wants to take eddster before the next time he dies, which he's not going to be able to do. Eddster finds a very clean throw. Max protection just kind of grabs him by the booty there. Just takes him on along for a trip. And, Eddster's getting that residual damage. Paulo manages to take Ed out, bringing himself back up a kill, but not. Oh my gosh! Wait, actually, what in the world? That was sick. And Eddster just getting beat up, trying to find the predictions, and he finds the throw without getting quaked. It does recover.
Oh wow! I thought he was actually going to be thrown off the left wall. We've seen a couple of right wall kills, but actually none off the left wall. I don't know if that's just by chance or having something to do with like preference of sides or whatever have you. But still, just a very fast-paced match going on.
I'm pretty sure we saw one. I don't even remember who it was, but I know I remember seeing it.
All right, fair enough. Maybe my memory's failing me. But yeah. Oh, that's gonna be a nice little cheeky gnome kill right there.
You get it? Punches to the noggin because Skolldir.
Hey,
Oh!
All right. It is going to be evened up now, 5-5. Very interesting match so far. Like I said, them being very confident in using their abilities effectively, as well as the map. That's kind of one of the things that we've touched upon previously. Just them, how comfortable they are with the jump pads. Maybe not so much the middle ones. You know, again, maybe they're not as effective as some of the side ones, but they are comfortable with them existing nonetheless, and trying to use them as effectively as they can.
Indeed. And Paulo getting beat up there, taking a bunch of punches. And that's not a good scenario. Eddster might be able to get a kill lead. If he gets a real kill lead, if he gets his kill lead higher than 1, that's not going to be good news for Paulo. He managed to have it once. Paulo didn't make the comeback, and actually it might just be about to happen. It is, and he still has about half his health, and he's almost got abilities ready. He looks for the Quake, manages to find it, but not before Paulo can throw. So Paulo's going to go to half health. You know, that's why you don't want a kill lead to happen, because like, he managed to find the frag right away, but he's half health and still is at the disadvantage. Like, that's like if Edge, like, he slips too much, that's how you like get the snowball, where you just literally don't have enough available health left for the rest of the game in order to come back.
Yeah, and we definitely have seen that today, where, you know, trades are nice and all, but when it comes to any kind of lead, even if it's just a, you know, 6-7 lead right now that we're seeing here, trading just becomes, especially later, so much more of a disadvantage for the person who's losing. And right here, it looks like we're seeing that, just trading some more damage. Being able to get a nice third punch off the jump pad right there, and the last third punch to just heal enough to get back into the green. As they're going for the prediction throw on the spawn, but not going to be able to quite get it. It's kind of funny. Sometimes when the players spawn on the replay, they're just stuck in the default pose, so they're just jumping around, just the third punch animation coming out every once in a while. I don't know if that's happening on your end or just mine, but it's still something kind of funny.
It's kind of inconsistent, but yeah, it definitely is. And it's not just lag or anything, but it's also like just the way stun interacts. The stun mechanism in this game, I think, doesn't really cleanly interact with animations that consistently. And it's one of the things that you especially see in a game like Skolldir 1v1, where each player is getting stunned all the time, and a bunch of kind of, I guess, visually complex moves is the best way to put that, where there's a bunch of different states of the players. It's definitely really interesting to see how that interaction comes out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, here it's gonna be like Eddster's gonna maintain his 2 lead, 9-7, being roughly at a half health, facing off Paulo now again. Probably going to be able to land that throw, actually, but not be able to get quite a lot of follow-up. He's going to get that Quake, though, which if he just lets Dot do its thing, he might be a kill for that. Oh, not just quite enough. Medican coming in clutch right there.
And
trying to do the cheeky no throw.
That.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, is he calculating again? Oh, no.
No, it's going to be a Dot kill for Paulo. Still, though, Paulo looking really, really rough, and Eddster only needs one last kill to seal the deal for him. So, you know, a single throw is probably going to do the damage, and that's what happened right there.
Indeed, that was really interesting. Paulo wanted to come back, and that was like a more feasible comeback than what we've seen, but it comes down to earlier, just like when I was talking about Paulo needed to find that kill on Ed that was inevitable, but without dying. Like, he didn't want to have to, like, trade to get that. And now I think he probably could have won this if he hadn't done that. So it just goes to show, like, how important it is to, you know, just be cautious and not die needlessly just because you can frag in the moment. Like you want to think about it, but Skolldir 1v1, you really have to think about your long-term plan for the match. You know, if you let them get a lead, like snowballing is always rough in Awesomenauts, but there's not really a comeback mechanism in Skolldir 1v1. And that makes a world of difference if you're in a situation where you need to make a comeback. Like, even if it's a kind of rough or kind of, I guess, controversial, regular gameplay does have like the XP system to serve as that feature. You know, there isn't any on that in this situation, though. It's level 20 because there isn't any external farming outside of no, just killing players. It has to be set to 20, otherwise it would just be a win harder function. So it's just really interesting to see how what the players have to do in order to make their comebacks work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it really comes down to like things we touched upon earlier, that it just needs, sometimes it just means that something needs to change. That obviously what you're doing right now, either your playstyle, your tactics, or your tech, just kind of isn't working out for you. So one of those variables that you do have the control over, you know, being your play style, how you're using the map, things like that, what you're doing in response to what the other person is doing, something needs to change there, because like mentioning, a whole lot of other variables are locked in place as opposed to the regular game. Levels are maxed out, you're not going to go anywhere. Skill level, or sorry, build order and build set is actually 100% set in stone. So really the only things you have to play with is how you do as a player versus another player. There really isn't a whole lot of wiggle room there, but still enough to make a comeback there if you do know kind of how to approach that situation, how to respond to it.
Indeed. But the question is, can Paulo make the comeback happen in the next game? Like, what are some of the primary things that he has to do and that he has to keep in mind in order to make the opposite of what happened this game occur?
Really, I think it just is a lot of fine-tuning, I would say, because, you know, mechanically speaking, we've touched on this already, but these are some very, very high-tier players. So when it comes to their skill as a raw Skolldir, it's up there with anyone else that you can think of, really. And it was a close match at the end of the day. You know, he was only down a couple of kills, like a handful. It was one of the closer matches we've seen today. So really, I think it is just kind of fine-tuning, make sure that he can actually land every single ability more often than eddster, because I think, like, especially with throw, that's kind of one of the vital things, is even just landing, you don't necessarily need to be following it up so much, but the throw is the highest damage thing that they have available to them as far as like a single burst kind of thing. So just being able to land it is a huge benefit, even if there's no follow-up associated with it.
Completely agree. So I guess the question is, can Paulo land these throws more? Let's find out. I am at the 11-second mark of our next match, my friend.
All right, and I am there as well. You want me to count it down?
Do it.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
And we are off. eddster going to be immediately taking that jump pad. Going to quake down. Not going to find anything right away. He actually went for the same exact opening that he did last time, interestingly enough. But it's kind of going the same way. He might actually get first blooded this time, so to speak. Paulo, yep, he's going to manage to find that frag. He's trying to look for the spawn protection. This is going to be get thrown there. He might go for a counter throw here. And, okay, I knew we had to see it coming out soon. He does manage to find it. Questionable third punches. It's Britain to Brazil. Similar names.
That's kind of
non-similar areas in terms of geographical relativity to each other. They're pretty far off. They got a full ocean between them.
Yeah, frankly, right now, Paulo putting out a pretty dominant performance, going 2-0 so far in the first time, 3-0 now. I was going to talk about the kind of the first blood mechanics, because, you know, first blood, Paulo got it and came out with, you know, about 90-95% health, so which is a huge boom for him. But right now, going 3-0, you know, we were talking about being able to land abilities. You know, eddster has seemed to miss some of his throws that may have been vital. Paulo being able to both land throws and do his follow-up in some cases. That was a nice predict throw on the spawn from eddster right there. Not going to be able to really capitalize on it too much, but just being able to land those throws is a huge get.
Indeed, and eddster going to jump head off and gonna not land anything except for the throw, but the counter throw, and Paulo's not there in time to stun lock off. He is going to get a nice stun hit off the jump pad. Now they're just trading blows, dealing the numbers, kind of number crunching it. eddster realizes he has to back off because he lost that particular number engagement. He's going to pay the price for it. It was next time he tries to engage, and he just really can't even withstand the throw of Paulo. He's going to take him down, bring the lead 4-1 in favor of Paulo. Paulo doing a nice display of, despite being low HP, getting eddster ridiculously low, doing a lot of work before he gets down here. This is the same situation that Paulo was in last game, except reverse. eddster really needs to find this frag on Paulo without dying for it. And he's not going to be able to do it. That might just bring the lead from 5-1 as a favor of Paulo. This is a complete shutout this game, as opposed to the generally slightly ahead performance eddster had. Paulo was back with a vengeance. Paulo went on 3 or 4 kills in a row there, plus got, a good fourth of eddster's HP taken off before that happened.
Yeah, definitely, and that's kind of one of the things that it's one way to think of how a certain fight is going, but to how it ends as well. Obviously, it's going to end in one of them dying, but how much health the other person has definitely also decides the dynamics of the next match that's going to come right there. So right there, eddster was about half health, and already Paulo hasn't even tried to throw. He didn't even throw that entire bout right there, but just getting enough raw damage from the snare as well as from just those big damage punches was enough to actually seal the deal for him right there.
Indeed, I completely agree. And awesome. One of the interesting things is that actually, it's gonna have to wait a second. Paulo, I was waiting for them because they were both trying to find those fishing moments on each other, but it just was not going well. And now he's just actually doing an amazing job at the moment, just going in and just sliding around, and this has been a completely non-stop punches. Neither player getting a real chance to recover ever since the initial catch in the mid where they Paulo found that throw. But yeah, eddster's slightly starting to make the comeback. We've gone from 5-1 to 6-4. That's pretty significant. To make that 7-4, nice throw there. There kind of catches them, that's what Paulo and Nikki do. Like they in the bottom area right there, where my mouse is. I know you can't see that, Pyro, but I guess I'm talking to the stream. They go here and they come to this side right here to when someone's coming from like that on the jump pad and catch them like that, and it works pretty consistently from what I've seen. I haven't really seen it kind of cost them their life or anything, or cost them a play. eddster gonna go ahead and get a nice throw on Paulo, doing his best to take things slowly. I mean, he's in a good position to make the comeback. If he wins this, that's the comeback story.
Very close to actually being thrown off the edge and being stunned into the abyss right there, but thankfully not being able to do that. But like you were saying, this is it's almost like a comeback story right here. It started out 3-0, almost 4-0. But now I'm evening it up relatively to 7-5. That's a pretty huge boon. Talking about comebacks earlier and how to go about this, I think this is an example of how to go about that. Maybe not as effectively to maybe not pull out the victory in this case, but definitely an example of the kind of things that you want to do in this kind of situation. Just kind of, not lose your head is probably one of the first things, and just being able to just play the game more than anything else. Not get in your own head, not try to get into the other opponent's head. Just play your Skolldir, play it how you like. And just make sure that you're nailing the things that you want to nail.
Indeed. And oh, Paulo gonna get dragged around there. eddster's frames messing up again. Gotta love the replay glitches. They're pretty amusing to watch, to be honest. It's kind of looks like a the Nutcracker. That's what it makes me think of when it's just like standing perfectly still, just sliding around. Oh
yeah, just like zero motor function. That is going to be it though. That's gonna go to Paulo right there actually. So that was
he did it.
Yeah, he did do it. Like, these are very interesting matches today. A lot of ties, honestly. You would expect that when it comes to a kill, or not a kill, a win during the first match, that the next bout is going to be along similar lines. But this is actually disparately significant in that the first case was maybe not necessarily a shutout, but like a lot more different than it was going for this one. I think they actually both ended up roughly the same. I think it was 10-7 this time, 10-7 or 10-8 the previous round. So almost like a mirror match in that case.
Indeed. It's really I guess it's very interesting, and just how the little things can kind of influence the match. Like the skill gap is so marginal. There's only like so much you can do to pull up ahead, and it goes back to what my whole motivational thing. Both players are just humans in front of the keyboards at the end of the day. So there's nothing that one player can do that the other can't. And it really comes to shine when it just comes kind of in the moment out thinking, So these are the sort of 1v1s where if eddster woke up this morning and stubbed his toe on a Lego, but when he rolled out of bed, it could put him in a bad mood and cause him to lose a match. Like, that's the level of closeness these games are.
Absolutely, yeah. When it comes to all these high tier players, like you're saying, skill level doesn't really come much into play anymore. It is more about style more than actual skill. And that's kind of what it comes down to, just style versus style, play style, how you react, how you adapt, more than actual just how raw mechanically you are with the game itself.
I completely agree with that assessment. Anyways, guys, we are going to take a short break as we get our next match ready. Do not go anywhere, my friends.